And we are here. We got an interview for the Conqueror League, and I have two players that I am incredibly excited to be interviewing here. Chihuahua and OP Killswitch, of course, from Elysium Blaze, who just won a little bit ago. Was it, God, just a few days ago, and you guys were playing up against Basement Dwellers, right? So we're going to get into the series and stuff, but first I want to give you guys a thank you for being here, and I'm just going to do like a left to right kind of thing and ask you some similar questions, just to kind of like, I want to get some Chihuahua lore. I want some OP Killswitch lore. So first off, I want to ask you guys, and again, we'll start with Chihuahua here. OP Killswitch, feel free to cut him off whenever you want. How did you guys meet? How did you guys get into this together? How long have you been friends? Are you friends?
I haven't known John OP Killswitch for too long. I've played against him a few times, maybe over the last year. We only started playing together maybe, I don't know, a couple months ago or something. So Elysium Blaze has had a few iterations of the roster, and John's been on the most recent one. And so, yeah, I mean, I really like playing with John, but it's a pretty newish thing.
Yeah. I would say they have an org. Elysium's an org in general,
yep.
And I knew the owner, so I was like, hey, do you guys have any teams that are needing a mid laner? And that was Blaze, and worked out. And so yeah, we've been playing since late December, early January.
It's worked out pretty well. Again, I only got to see the one series, of course, that you guys played up against Basement Dwellers, but it was pretty fantastic. It was a reverse sweep. I know it's kind of hard when it's only a best of 3 series to call it that, but it was a really strong one. And actually, I kind of want to get into, I'll get into that, and then I'll get into more personal stuff about you guys. We'll have a little back and forth going. So speaking of last week's games, I guess it wasn't even that long ago, we'll call it last week's games, against Basement Dwellers. Basement Dwellers, I don't want to say it was heavy-handedly, but they took that first game in a pretty swift manner, at least in a very controlling manner. And then you guys came up with, in response to pulling out the Zac in the mid lane. So first I'm going to ask OP Killswitch about this, and then I'm going to switch it over because I was so excited. You guys used it as a flex, and you actually used it as a flex. So was that something that you guys had planned in advance, or OP Killswitch, you start me off, was that your choice to begin with, and did it come into fruition afterwards as you guys played game 3?
Yeah. So I mean, just in general for game 2, I mean, we've been playing with Zac a lot. I think Zac's really OP in the mid lane.
Yep.
Nobody plays it, but no mage has the mana pool to push you out of lane, and so the champ is just overpowered in general and has too much sustain in lane. So, yeah, we drafted it, and we kind of were just going based on matchup what we wanted to do. But right. I will almost always ask for it especially if I think it's a mid laner that's not going to just abuse me. I love playing it. So game 2, that was the angle, and then I think game 3 was really more, we felt like we needed more damage, so we shoved Zac into the jungle. Okay,
so then I'll switch over to Chihuahua, I guess, for this half of the answer. So it was one of those things where you pick, because Zac was a very early pick for you, especially in game number 3. So was that something where you were like, okay, OP Killswitch, you can run this, and then Chihuahua, you just hopped in when you guys realized you needed more damage? Was that always something that you guys have been planning on flexing, maybe?
Yeah, it was something that we always planned on flexing for sure. I'm not a huge Zac player, but it's playable. I'm fine at it. And
you did great.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the most complicated champion or anything, but
right.
We early pick it. It's our dark secret technology. I guess the word is out, so it's unlucky. But yeah, and then like you said, I think it's a bit hard to blind because I think it does have a few unplayable matchups if they play I don't know, some loser champion like a Nivea or something. It's not fun. So yeah, we just flex it based on that.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more flex picks, because those are exciting for me. Not just the first flex pick where it's oh, okay, it's a Zac going in an unorthodox place. We don't see many mid Zacs, but then to pull it back and bring it into another lane, that was really fun for me on the broadcast. But let's get a little more into you guys and I guess Elysium Blaze in general. So how did you, I guess, OP Killswitch, you already kind of told us you knew the owner, right? And so you asked for maybe an entry there. Chihuahua, how long have you been with Elysium Blaze, and how did you get introduced to this org?
I mean, I'm one of the founding partners of the org. So me and Caleb and a few other people started it. Caleb had this org a few years back and then stepped away from it. Mm-hmm. he plays on Elysium. Fritz currently, that's Eli Grand Canyon. They're in the other division, but he had this org a while back and then stepped away, and then he started rebuilding it like late last year, maybe like I don't know, in the summer of last year. Blaze has been around for I don't know 3 months. This is Blaze's first league together, so
cool.
But I've been with Elysium since they've been back up and running again.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Blaze, you guys are absolutely killing it, at least in this division here. And actually, speaking of this division and really just this opportunity that you guys have with Titan Esports, I'll start with you, OP Killswitch. What does this kind of mean to you and the organization, I guess, to have the opportunity to partake in events like this that to some might seem like there's not a ton going on, but to others is, you know, their real opportunity, I guess, to be able to have some stage time or some face time.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. I think it's like what separates the good platinum leagues from like the great platinum leagues. I think that that's really what we all like the content. You know, we're not nobody's really playing for a prize. We're all looking for the content. So I think it's a lot of fun. The weekly articles, like I think most of us are looking at it when it's released on Tuesday at 2 a.m. So yeah, we look forward to it.
That's awesome. Well, Chihuahua, since it sounds like you've had, you know, at least a hand in Elysium for quite a while now, what does having the opportunity to have multiple teams, right, not just Blaze, but multiple teams in multiple divisions within a tournament like this?
I mean, it's really cool. We have, you know, a bunch of teams that play in a bunch of different places, and it's cool to get to know all the players and see them grow and see the teams grow. And, you know, at Elysium, we try to pick up players that we like, and you know, like everyone's pretty chill and good vibes. Like I've played on some teams that are like not fun to play on. So, I mean, more than just like having a team that wants to win, you know, it should be fun to play. And, you know, like I can speak for myself. Like I'm not going pro or anything, right? So I just want to have fun, play with my friends, you know, meet new people, and you know, hopefully get some pentakills or something.
Yeah, so. There we go. As the jungle, I like that. I like that confidence right there. That's an impressive play. All right, now let's get into a little bit more about you guys in particular. I want to know about your summoner names, how you came up with summoner names. I'm always really curious about this. So OP Killswitch, is there any story behind your summoner name? Was it just something you kind of rolled on some D20s?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's not like a crazy story. I started playing in season 3, and I was literally like, oh, I have to pick a summoner name, and I just asked my brother-in-law at the time. I was like 12 at the time, and he's just like, yeah, you should be OP Killswitch. That was like the first thing he recommended. I was like, sounds good, and it has stuck. So.
I love it. Do people say Killswitch engage a lot? Do you get a lot of that?
No.
No, that's good.
No, yeah.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that, because I'm pretty sure I slipped up once during the broadcast and might have said that. But glad to hear I'm the only one. Chihuahua, how about you? Is there a funny story? I know that your icon here in Discord is a picture of a small white Chihuahua. Is that your dog, or?
Yeah, that's my boy Pepe. Rest in peace. He's gone in heaven now. I have another one though. So I mean, I've just always had Chihuahuas growing up. I live on my own now, so it's just me and my dog, and. Like, I mean, I don't know. They're just cool dogs, and it's like just kind of a meme, like just like a little ankle biter, and like junglers get called dogs all the time. It's like, yo, like this jungler's like a dog, so it's like here I am, just like a little ankle biter jungler.
It works. Maybe you need to pull out the Warwick then. That's what you're telling me. Maybe we need to see something like that.
I won't stoop down to those levels.
That's a big dog. That's two big dogs.
That's true. That's a giant.
Yeah.
That's a large dog. There are not enough cute small dogs, I guess, in League of Legends for us to pull out a Chihuahua for you. Just don't do a Teemo, and I think we'll be happy. But when we're talking about what you guys have to look forward to, I guess, within this series, right? You guys have locked in officially second place after the series that you guys played last week against Basement Dwellers, and, you know, have some pretty exciting teams to look forward to playing against, and also not just teams, but when we're looking at the other groups, right? Because you guys are part of, is it Group D? What group are you on?
Group B. Yeah.
Group B, something. There's letters. You're a letter group.
Yeah,
There's other letters. So are there any teams, and I'll just go back to you, OP Killswitch, are there any teams in particular, any players in particular that you're looking forward to facing? We know that next week you guys are going up against New World, so have you maybe done any research?
Yeah. I think honestly, New World's their record is bad, but they like completely overhauled their roster. So we know they changed their top jungle and mid, and we are familiar with all of them. Played them in a lot of leagues. So I think they're actually really good now. I think they probably, if I had to take a guess, I think they probably make playoffs. Because because I just have a lot of like a lot, especially like top jungle. They are very good players. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that matchup. It'll be a very good test for us. I think if we are able to beat them, I'm pretty comfortable making a deep run in the playoffs. And then I'm also like pretty excited to play EDE. Obviously they're 4-0 still,
Right.
but like they like perma talk in general and trash talk, and like I don't know. I don't know them well enough, but it's pretty annoying. So like it'd be pretty cool to beat them. But
Yep. That's
but yeah,
fun.
those are probably the two main teams.
Yeah, well, that's good. And you know what? Yeah, EDE, emotional damage energy, of course, being that team in first place. But it's not. They're not sitting as comfortably as other groups, right? They're not 6-0. They still have lost games. So there are weaknesses that we have seen within this team. And in fact, actually, to bring that up, Basement Dwellers, who you guys beat last week, they had previously been able to take a game off of them. So I am looking forward to see that matchup to see how you guys are able to fare. Chihuahua, how are you feeling about your matchup coming this next week? And then are there any other teams, any other players, anything like that you are really anticipating playing against?
I mean, New World Esports, those guys are like friends of Elysium for sure. Boogie he's the owner of New Worlds. I play on another team with Boogie. I told him he needs to sub in for this series, and whoever wins, like, we gotta order the other guy a pizza or something. I don't know. We'll have to see if it happens. He did accept, but I don't know if he'll be playing or not. But I'm excited. Like Killswitch said, I do think that they are pretty good now. With their record doesn't show up with the roster swaps. I think it'll be a hard match for sure. So I'm excited. Hopefully, I get to kill my teammate on the other side of the rift.
Yeah, it's funny how exciting it is to actually be able to play up against your friends to say, I took you down, because it's all in good fun. Everybody's going to be a team player, right? So I'm very excited. Unfortunately, that's not going to be one of the broadcasted games that we do get to see next week, because you guys just got to have some FaceTime this last week. But of course, you locked in that second place. You made it. So before we close things out here, I want to ask you, I have to know so that maybe I don't sound dumb when I call things out on Twitter. OP Killswitch, is it going to a 3-game series, or are you guys going to close this one out? Because I'm expecting you anticipate winning.
Oh, against New World, I think it's going to 3 for sure. I for some reason we like to grief game 1. That's like a consistent. Even our honestly, I think we not to crash talk, but I think we were significantly better than Basement Dwellers. I think our game 1 draft was actually so trash, and I mean we didn't play well either, but we had no damage and got ran down like dogs. So yeah, I anticipate probably having at least one game where we just grief it, but yeah, hopefully we win it in 3.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because because again, this is my intro to this league, right? So I hadn't really gotten the chance to watch you guys play. I'd just kind of seen some of the stats, things like that. So after game 1, I was like, I mean, Elysium Blaze is going to have to do something completely different. And every single time I brought up, I can't tell you, in between each of the games, I'm like, whatever pep talk went down, whatever happened between games 1 and 2, the copium that was inhaled by this team is absolutely absurd. So I'm glad to see that you guys recognize that within yourself. And you know what? At the end of the day, worst thing is you give us a good full 3-game series, right?
Right.
So
No,
Chihuahua, how do you feel about this one? Is this going to be a 2-0 sweep, or do you still think there's some fight coming out of New Worlds?
I mean, I would of course like a 2-0, but I'd probably expect 3 games. Like Killswitch said, we do grief game 1 a lot. We're trying to work on fixing that, but yeah, games 2 and 3, that's my comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's a 3-game series and they're not just best of ones, right? Because that would be potentially very scary for Elysium Blaze.
Yeah, true.
There's a chance to grow, and we've seen a lot of it. I mean, game by game, series by series, we've seen so much growth from you guys, so I'm really excited to see more. I think that's going to do it for our interview with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, we have the casters that are going to be here next week to be showing us some amazing games. That's going to be Lam and Crims, and then Tuesdays, early morning, you can expect those articles to come out for the Conqueror League from Olrum. So keep an eye on all things Titan Esports. And before I let you guys go, Chihuahua, we'll start with you. Any shout outs you want to make?
Shout out to my dog Rita, the CEO of Elysium, Caleb.
And OP Killswitch, anyone you want to call out?
Yeah, shout out to our support homie. He actually is new player on the team as of last week. I can't get rid of this guy. He ends up on every team I end up playing on. So he harasses me, but glad to have him.
That's awesome. I love to hear it. And you're talking about being chillin', right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bean Chillin' definitely showed up. So good to hear the calls. Thank you guys so much for joining me and chatting. And hopefully we will get to see a lot more from Elysium Blaze and Elysium in general here in the future. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.